Alright, welcome to another speaking practice class. Okay, today it's class IELTS 39 and we are doing they're doing their regular speaking practice. Okay, let's do part 1. Part 1, topic 24. But because this one is actually ending soon, as I told you yesterday, lớp này thực sự là đến đầu tháng 5 là phải ngừng rồi. Because I have to open a new class in this slot, and this class has gone on for too long, and by then Linh will have taken her exam. So you know we have like say maybe 6 classes more, maybe. I think so. Okay. I want you to try topic part 1 that is quite far away. Like this one, handwriting. Let's try 45, handwriting, okay? Want you to try that. Nói về chuyện viết bằng tay. So handwriting. So Miss Lin, do you like to write by hand or do you like handwriting?
Okay. I have always enjoyed handwriting because it is something I am good at, and I have to say that I enjoy
I have to say
writing.
that. I have to say that.
I have to say that I enjoy writing for personal and professional purpose. For me, writing is a way to express myself and share my thought and ideas with others. And I find that it's a creative outlet and rewarding process. When I
Okay, very good.
Okay,
it's good enough. I think this is not like part 3, you know. Okay, save your energy for part 3 because part 3, that's when your score will surely be tested because they will ask you a lot of difficult questions. So Trung, how about you? Do you like handwriting?
Yeah, I do like handwriting, but unfortunately my handwriting is not so good, so I love to see people with handwriting.
You love to see people's handwriting, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, what a surprise, because a lot of people say that I have a good handwriting.
Yeah. You know, they say that like your handwritings can tell your personalities
Of
or something
course it
about
does.
you. Yeah.
It does show your personality, but that doesn't count when you were well trained, you know. Because some people, they are well trained with handwriting, but their personality, I don't think they're that great. Tùy trường hợp lỡ đâu được well trained, được huấn luyện đầy đủ, viết rất đẹp nhưng mà tính cách không tốt đâu. Okay, so Lynn, do you think handwriting is important?
I find that handwriting is an experience process because it can help to broaden my perspective and allow me to see things perspective and allow me to see different things from different angles and I can provide me with new idea and inspiration for my writing. So I could say that handwriting is a experience something.
It's a what?
Experience.
It's an experience, nó một cái trải nghiệm. Okay. Okay, so Miss Lin, would you prefer handwriting or typing? Typing or handwriting?
Yes, of course, I prefer typing because it's convenient. But you know, I'm a student. I also use handwriting to see things and like write something down, my ideas. So it can be said that I prefer handwriting.
I see.
but
How about
it
you?
can.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yes. But it can do what?
but it can be undeniable. Is convenience of typing.
This can be undeniable that it's more convenient than typing, right?
No, it's can be undeniable. The convenience of typing.
I agree. So, Mr. Trung, what's the difference between handwriting and typing? What do you think? The differences between them?
Okay, there's some
Like
differences.
in terms of like which one is more convenient and which one is suitable for any personality, is suitable for any task, something like that, you know? Think about
Okay,
it.
sure. Yeah,
Mr.
okay,
is
sure.
here. Perfect.
Sure. Handwriting and typing have some differences. For example,
There are some differences between.
there have some differences between handwriting and typing.
Yes. Such as.
Such as handwriting is through handwriting you can convey more your personalities. Okay, I think so.
Can convey your personality clearly and more expressively, right? Một cách biểu đạt tốt hơn, right?
And type in is more robotic, but instead in situation like involving legal activities or agreement or contract, we do need typing.
You mean do need typing because to make like reading the text clearer? You mean avoid mistakes? You mean
it can avoid misunderstanding and miscommunication because
right.
Different people have different style of writing. So in this case, typing is more important. And for handwriting, I think handwriting is would help people do the test. For example, IELTS. Okay, so some people they don't have a good idea or a good supporting sentences, but if the handwriting is good, somehow it can make the examiner feel easier, feel more comfortable, and could give them a better score. Okay.
Okay, that's a good idea. I would say, Mr. Welcome. So we're talking about handwriting now. Do you like handwriting? And do you think it's important to have a good handwriting? Your microphone, please, Mr.
Oh, hi.
Do you like handwriting, and do you think having a good handwriting is important?
Yeah, like, well, so that really depends on my style, on the style of my handwriting. Like, I have no complaints on my handwriting because it's quite good. Like, I deserve so many compliments on my handwriting. Um, so I think I believe the handwriting is like important in this today's world because that's quite a basic skill. Like despite the advanced technology that we have right now, we still need to write by hand for some special occasions, such as where we need to sign official documents and
Right.
also, schools are still requiring students to write by hand in some public schools, so I think it's quite important.
Right, I see. So, which one do you prefer, handwriting or typing then?
Well, I think like both handwriting and typing are like so much important in different situations or occasions, and that really depends if I have to send letters or cards to my friends. I love writing personal messages through handwriting, Other than that, if I like go for typing like on computer or
You mean it's much more personal, right? Nó tạo cảm giác personal hơn, right?
Yeah.
It creates a feeling like it's quite personal when you handwrite to another person compared to when you type. People might not see the person in like behind that typing. So it's not personal when people type, but it's much more personal when people handwriting, you know, do handwriting. That's what I think. And it's just a feeling, you know. Sometimes handwriting is it conveys the emotion and the person behind those handwriting, but I don't think typing does do that. Anyway, let's move on to part 2 and 3. Try something from 36, I would say. There you go, this one. Okay. Describe a time when you got close to animals. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn đã tiến lại gần những con động vật. You should say where you were. Lúc đó bạn ở đâu? What the animal were doing. Mấy con động vật đó đã đang làm gì? Who were with you. Bạn đi với ai? Và explain what your reaction was. Cái phản ứng của bạn lúc đó khi mà tiến gần đến động vật là như thế nào? So your reaction when you got close to animals, what would that be? And you have part 3 of wild animals. Wild, y ngắn L nè. I-L, wild animals, động vật hoang dã. What are the differences between animals in zoos and those in the wild? Có những sự khác biệt nào giữa những động vật trong những cái sở thú và những con động vật ở trong hoang dã? Think about their environment, living environment. Think about living environment. Think about their health care. Do they receive medicine when they are sick, or do they get treated as good, or no? Do they have their freedom? Do they enjoy like social connection with their peers? Có được cái sự mà kết nối xã hội với những cái con đồng trang lứa không? Think about other things such as like their lifespan, vòng đời của nó. Lifespan of animals in a zoo and those in the wild different, you know. Think about diseases. Think about the danger, the comfort, you know. Think about all those things and you try to explain it. Now, next question. Why should the staff in the zoos teach the public about animals? Tại sao những nhân viên trong sở thú nên dạy cho quần chúng biết về những con động vật? Think about the lack of knowledge. Sự thiếu kiến thức của quần chúng, the lack of knowledge in the general public. Like they think, most of the people, they believe that feeding the animals is a good thing, but in the zoo it's not a good thing. Okay, so that leads to the next question. Why are people keen on feeding zoos animals even though it is forbidden to do so? Tại sao con người ta lại rất là chăm chú cái chuyện mà cho nó ăn, cho các con vật trong sở thú ăn, mặc dù đó là một cái hành động bị cấm nha? Well, think about the factor of animal conservation. Animal conservation, bảo tồn động vật. Think about the stress level of zoo animals. Cái mức độ mà căng thẳng, stress của mấy con động vật trong trại nó được bao phủ bởi người không thì chắc chắn nó sẽ stress. Like if they are surrounded by humans always, they will feel the stress, of course. Compared to if you leave them alone, để nó yên thì nó sẽ không bị stress. If you leave them alone, they will not be stressed out. Compared to if you just keep looking at it all day. When people look at you all day, you will be very stressed too, of course. Think about the fact that if people feed animals, a lot of human food can actually be toxic for animals, you know. Rất nhiều đồ ăn của con người có thể là độc hại với lại những con thú nuôi đó nha. Like for example, chocolate, like avocado. Chocolate and avocado are extremely toxic for birds, for cats animals, like tigers or something like that, tigers and anything like cats. Dog also very toxic for them, okay? Imagine if like people are feeding them like chocolate. If they accidentally ingest those chocolate, those animals can be very sick and maybe they may die, you know. And also think about the fact that people can injure themselves trying to feed the animals, because think about if you try to feed an elephant, thử cho con voi ăn xem. If they use their long nose to suck the food, you can get injured, okay? Có thể bị thương đó, phải không đâu đơn giản đâu. And those animals are very brutal, they don't care. You know, they are big, they don't care. Okay, so last question. How can the increase of the human population influence wild animals? This one is to think about. Sự gia tăng về dân số con người ảnh hưởng thế nào đến động vật hoang dã? This one, I think you should know how to answer it, okay? You should definitely know how to answer it. Okay, you have some time now. Okay, let's get back to work now. Okay, so Mr. Can you start first? Describe a time when you got close to animals, please.
Well, to be honest, that I'm not a person
Honest. To be honest. To be honest.
To be honest, like I'm not a person like who pays too much attention to wild animals or yeah. And however, I must say that Vietnam has a really wide variety of wild animals that we can easily like find in zoos in any part of the country. So I would like to talk about a time when I saw a huge elephant with my naked eye for the first time. If I remember it well, I first saw an elephant when I was a still primary school student, which dated back to about 7 or 8 years ago. My family and I took a trip to Pao Theme Park, which located in District 1, right? Yeah, District 1. Yeah, which also has a wide availability for wild animals. And since it was the first time I've ever seen elephants, yeah, and everything was like so new to me, and I couldn't hide my excitement. Like any other elephant, it has a big, like an enormous body, long trunk.
Okay, that
Colossal
was a bit too long already, okay? Hơi bị quá nhiều nha, part 2 nha.
Yeah.
Remember, part 2. You have only 2 minutes, maximum 2 minutes.
Yeah, so that was the first time I got in close contact with a elephant in the reality, close to that extent, and I fed it some food. And finally, although this trip took place a really long time ago, I can still remember it so clearly. And I would love to have this experience once again because um, that's really good to and like to enjoy the wild atmosphere with those wild animals in the zoos.
Okay, very good. Now, Miss Lin, please. Your turn to describe. Hello? Miss Lin, your microphone, please. Hello? Your microphone or you, come on. Class, bật mic nào mọi người, sao tắt mic hết vậy? Okay, Miss Lin, your turn, please. Okay, so Mr. Trung then.
Okay,
Can you
so
describe a time when you got close to animals, please?
yeah, from my experience, I get close to animal.
I got close, because this is in the past, okay? Quá khứ mà.
Okay, so I got close to animals once. I was in, I got close to animals once. I was in the zoo. All right, yeah. I was in the zoo. That time, I was with my mom and
Mother.
my mother and my sister. Okay, because it was the first time my sister went to the big city, so I need
Big
to
city. Chứ không phải big big. Big
uh,
city. To a
a
big city.
big city, so I need to like mm, took her to somewhere interesting. So I think the zoo is a good
So
idea.
I
Yeah,
thought the zoo was a good idea.
yeah. No, okay, so right, in the zoo of Hồ Chí Minh City, there were many animals. Some were playing, some were relaxing, some were chilling, and some were even
The word chill
mates.
is actually informal. Cái từ chill là không formal nha. Không trịnh trọng.
Uh,
Không nên sử dụng cho ai cái từ đó. Chill. Don't use the word chill. It's informal. It's a slang, okay? Từ lóng luôn á. But chill is actually you should not be used. Just use the word. Some animal were hanging out. Let's just say.
hang out, and some were even
Or you can say
mated.
some animals were spending time. Dành thời gian làm gì? Spending times sitting on something. Sitting something.
Sitting on something. All right, and okay, so mm, although I am an adult, uh, I was still amazed by the variety of the real life animals doing their daily routine, and
Daily routine, yes.
it was an um, fascinating experience. Okay, and I think sometime we need to go to the zoo, and we could feel like a little child one more time and enjoy the spectacular view
Spectacular.
of the animals in their natural habitat. Uh,
In their natural habitat, I see.
uh,
Okay, good enough. Good. Yeah, Miss Lin, please.
Okay.
Miss Lin?
I'm going to talk about a time when I got close to animals. Um, in my retrospect, I remember that when I was in primary school, particularly grade 5, I have a chance to go to
A chance. I had a chance. I had a chance to go
I have a
to.
chance to go to Lệ Park in Hanoi, where there are many kind of animal are residing, and there are
Residing there.
And there are a lot of activity to get close to wild animal. This is the field trips with my school and my classmates, and the teachers were the teacher in the carry out.
Yeah, bị lag rồi, nó là câu vừa rồi đi. Can you repeat that last sentence? It was lagging.
Okay. This was a school field trip, and I went to this with my classmate, my teacher, and my family. Thầy có nghe được không ạ?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. This field trip carry us out to students to research about wild animal, and we can play
wild animals.
And students have a lot of activity. The other kids were very
The other gì?
The other children were so excited to see many kind of animal with near distance. They were dancing them on TV or book. I remember that the large number of animals are feeding and sleeping in but other animals were enjoying the free time. What I love the Thủ Lệ Garden, because they trying to create resemble habitat like that.
They were trying to create a similar habitat to their
similar
natural one, right?
Yes.
A similar habitat to their natural one. Một cái môi trường giống với những cái môi trường tự nhiên của nó. Yeah. Okay, don't make it too complicated for yourself. Okay, good. Anything else? Hello? You were cut off. Yeah, bị lag nữa rồi. Okay, what else then? I cannot hear anything, Lynn. Alright, so let's... I think that was okay, good. Okay, so let's go to part 3 of wild animals. Mr. Ung, please. So, what are the differences between animals in zoos and those in the wild? What do you think? Yes?
So first thing, the first difference is maybe about their homes. Like zoo animals live in small cages. Yeah, there may be some open area zoos, but I think they're not as big as an animal is. And some zoos are able to so I think that those zoos animals are depressed and do not live a happy life. Yeah, I know that human or people care for them, but these animals need more freedom to explore and walk for hundreds of kilometers every year to enjoy its natural habitats as the wild animals. The second thing is about their food. I think in the wild, animals have to fight to survive, and so they have better instincts to take care of themselves. But in the zoos, those animals are fed like at a strict time, so I think they would become a little bit more lazy than the wild animals.
They are sheltered. Let's just say they are sheltered. Chúng được che chở. They are sheltered from the wild. and so they don't have to worry too much about being in danger, you know, something like that. Okay, is that all? Lag rồi Tường ơi, lag rồi, không nghe. I can't hear you, lag again. I think your internet is really bad now. You should discuss with your parents to change the internet provider. Đổi provider khác đi, đừng xài nữa nè. I think. Alright, so Mr. Trung, please. So why should the staff in the zoos teach the public about animals then?
Okay. Should the staff in the zoo teach the public about animals? Yeah, I think so. Because
No. The question asks why should the staff in the zoo teach the public about animals? The question is not like should staff in the zoo teach the public animals. It's different question, you know. Hai câu khác nhau nha. Một câu là tại sao nhân viên trong sở thú nên dạy quần chúng về động vật, tại sao? Còn một cái là có nên là dạy hay không. The two question is different, you know, be careful. Now, why should the staff in the zoo teach the public about animals? What do you think? Why?
The staff
What are the reasons?
In my opinion, the staff in the zoo should teach the public about animals for some reason. The first one, it can raise their awareness about
what?
Animal living around them. Okay.
Yes.
It could
You
help them.
mean wild animals, the natural world? Thế giới tự nhiên à?
Just the animal around them, even in the city, there are still animals around them, like the mosquitoes, and insects, and
Okay.
right.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny when you mention mosquitoes and insects. Yeah.
That's it. Okay, so and the bees, you know, the bees. Are
Of course,
really
I know the
important.
bees.
The bees I know are really important, but the bees got a really bad reputation. I don't know why, but right now the population of the bees is on the verge.
It's on a verge of collapsing, actually.
Yeah.
Because why? We use too many pesticides, I think, and they are killing off a lot of bees. If the bees die, our whole world will die within a very short time.
Right. So thanks to the bee, we have
Yes.
the fruit and the flower and the tree. Okay, the bee is really important. And okay, so good. So thanks to the knowledge from the staff in the zoo, who the people could know the importance of the animals around them, to appreciate their system, and to create
Appreciate what? Appreciate what?
appreciate
Their assistance, right?
existence.
Existent nha.
Yeah.
Existent. Exist. Chứ không phải là existent đâu nha. Existence.
Yeah.
To appreciate their existence. And also assistant as well. Cái sự mà hỗ trợ. And also they are assistant to helping human, you know. Helping everyone survive better, you know.
And to help create a better cohabitation between the people and the animals.
Cohabitation. You mean living together?
Yeah.
The process of living together, cohabitation. Let's check that word out, if it's a real word or not, okay? Cohabitation. No, it's not a real word. Yes, it is a real word. The act of living and having a sexual relationship with someone, especially when you are not married to. Oops. Cohabitation means sống thử, sống cùng nhau, have sex, mà không cưới. Oops. It's not the meaning you're trying to say. What the? So cohabitation is not a good word, okay? Sống thử, sống cùng nhau, nhưng mà đặc biệt là để have sex với ai đó, đặc biệt khi mà mình không có cưới xin gì hết. It's actually not a good word, to be honest with you. So try to use a different word now.
Living together.
Yes, the process of living together and supporting each other, right? So, Miss Lin, please. Why are people keen on feeding zoos animals, even though it is forbidden to do so? What do you think?
I think it's maybe stem from people belief on personal projections reflect
Personal what?
personal projections.
Possession. Sự sở hữu con người. It basically stem from the human's possession, right? Nó có nguồn gốc từ cái sự sở hữu con người, isn't it?
Stem from people believe on personal possession. Okay. Personal projection about predators think like when they see something is valuable or prestigious, people
prestigious, quý giá. Prestige, you know the word prestige là sự cao quý, sự I don't know how to explain it in Vietnamese, but prestige means like you are above the other people or above other things. Prestige. Prestigious, quý giá, cao quý, hơn người, something like that. Okay, continue please.
The curiosity. I might tell right. I might say
Curiosity, yeah.
Curiosity. Okay. Curiosity is provoked and
it's provoked. Âm tê nha. Provoked. Okay, what about it then?
Provoked, and they try to find information about this thing, and then I can say that this is the reason that people keep continue to feeding the animals even though it is forbidden, and this like dangerous for human health.
Oh, I know.
Okay, anything else? Yes, Trung, what do you say?
Okay, so wait for Lin to finish. I know the psychology thing because the reason why people keep on feeding.
Okay, then please continue with that. You know it, okay. What about it then?
Alright, so the reason why people are keen on feeding to animals because they see the animals are being kept in a cage,
like being like a pet in a cage, right?
Right. Okay. So the people think that the animals are being mistreated and being left in a poor condition.
Oh, that's what they think. Họ nghĩ mấy con động vật bị đối xử tàn tệ. Oh, I see.
And they link that to poverty, to malnutrition. That's why
To malnutrition.
they throw the food onto the animal cage, but in fact the animals are not so intelligent. They know nothing. They just know that it's food. Okay, they just keep on getting food from the visitors without knowing that
Visitor là sao nhỉ?
The
Visitor. The visitors or the visitors.
Without knowing whether the food is dangerous or not. That's it.
Okay, that would be one reason, I would say. It's the psychology of people. Yeah, you're right. If people see animals in a cage, they would surely think that the animals are, you know, malnourished. Bị đối xử tàn tệ, không cho ăn. They are malnourished, and then they would think that feeding them would be a good thing to do, even though it's forbidden. Okay, remember, a lot of human food are actually toxic for animals. Okay, especially coffee, chocolate, chili, tea. Those things are actually toxic for animals. Be careful. Okay. Alright, so Miss Lin, please. How can the increase of the human population influence wild animals then?
Burgeoning human population mean that more garden, more forests can be clear.
Can be cleared to make way for
To make way for growing human demand for housing or transportation. So this is the main reason that
yes.
that's demand for housing and transportation can have profound impact on habitat of habitat of animals.
Anything else? Linh bị lag rồi. On the other habitats of animals, what else then? Lag ghê vậy. Không nghe thấy Linh nói gì luôn. Khúc này nè. Okay, Tường, your turn please. Please answer the same question. How can the increase of the human population influence wild animals?
Well, I think by looking at the data and our recent history, the effect of our increase of our human population of wild animals is quite negative. Like as our population grows, we tend to cut down more forests and rearrange more land into farmland. So we
Into
don't
what?
keep our farmland to provide for our agriculture farmland. Yeah, so we could feed our population and for our industry, the
Industry.
like our development and construction also destroy the living habitats of animals, like because pollution, toxic chemicals, and yeah, those kind of things can destroy the living habitats of some kinds of wild animals. And as from what I know, like each year there are hundreds or even thousands of animals just get extinct. And yeah, I know that there are some people who try to raise awareness and try to advocate for our protecting our wildlife, but there are quite few, and because the majority of people are too selfish and focus only on their financial development instead of caring for our wild animals or our environment in general. So I think that do have a quite negative impact on the wild animals, I guess.
I see. And indeed, we do have a lot of we did a lot of things wrong for nature to solve. So, Mr. Trung, what do you think? How can the increase of the human population influence wild animals then?
The increase of the population.
Increase, danh từ. It's a noun. How can an increase? Decrease and increase and decrease, you know, noun form.
an increase in the human
An increase
population
in the increase of the
has
human population.
big impact on wild animals.
Wild animals.
To be specific, uh, when the human population increases,
Increases.
we we
When the
need
human population
more.
increases.
We need more. They need more land to build cities, to build infrastructures.
Infrastructures.
Okay, and this results in human takes away the living space from wild animals. For
Living space from wild
example,
animals, yeah.
for examples, it has been reported that the elephants
The elephants, yeah,
attacked
what about them?
attacked some village. But the reason behind this invasion is that the villager
The villagers are
cut down the tree,
cut out trees, yes.
destroying the
And destroy their
forest.
habitat, so that's what they had to do it, right?
So the elephants have no place to go, and they went back to the village to claim their living space. Okay, okay. So this is one example to prove that the increase of human population leaves a negative impact on wild animals.
I see. Now, good enough, I guess. We can move on to the next one. It's 35, I would say. 35 is describe an interesting conversation you had with someone. Miêu tả một cuộc đàm thoại thú vị bạn đã có với ai đó. You should say who you spoke with. Bạn nói chuyện với ai vậy? Where you were, lúc đó bạn ở đâu? What the conversation was about. Cuộc đàm thoại đó về cái gì? Explain why you think it was interesting. Interesting. Tại sao cuộc đàm thoại nó lại thú vị? Interesting. And you have part 3 of interesting conversation. What's the most interesting conversation you've ever had? Cái cuộc đàm thoại thú vị nhất mà bạn đã từng có là cuộc đàm thoại gì vậy? And what was it about, of course? And can you talk about that conversation and who was involved there, and so something like that. Mình đừng có nói trùng với cái lý này trên đây nha. Don't talk about the same thing over here, okay? Because part 2 here is only about one interesting conversation, uninteresting conversation. But this question is about the most interesting conversation. So it should be something else. Một câu thì nó hỏi là về cuộc đàm thoại thú vị, một câu là cuộc đàm thoại thú vị nhất. Cho nên là nên nói những thứ khác nhau nha. Okay, and next one, in your opinion, what makes another person interesting to talk to? Trong nhận định cá nhân của bạn, điều gì làm cho một người khác thú vị để mà mình nói chuyện người ta? Is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know? Why? Liệu có khó để bắt đầu cuộc đàm thoại với một người mà bạn không biết họ là ai không? Tại sao? Okay, so I'll give you some time to think about this one, okay? Now. Alright. Miss Lin, you first, please. Describe an interesting conversation you had with someone. Your microphone, please. Okay.
I remember that an interesting conversation.
Interesting là sao?
Interesting,
âm đầu.
Interesting.
I remember an interesting. Nó là những âm đầu. An interesting
conversation that I have on online platforms with my furry friends. This foreigner is from Japan, and his name is Akira, and maybe he's early 20 and currently studying about astronomy and
Astronomy.
astronomy and technology at Tokyo University. Uh, he is very kind and intelligent. I first got to know him through a social network, namely Discord, and after taking a few times, and we eventually struck up a friendship. Uh, I have to say that he's very intelligent and articulate with a great sense of humor. Uh,
Articulate là cô đọng đúng không ta?
articulate. Nói
If I
lưu loát.
remember articulate, sorry.
Anh nói nó lưu loát.
Articulate, it means like everything you do is fluent.
Speaking.
And also
Speaking
you don't speak
fluent.
much. You don't speak much, but every word you say is meaningful. Không nói nhiều nhưng mà mỗi từ nó lại rất là có ý nghĩa. Đó là articulate, I think I remember the word.
This person has taught me so much about the history of space, which I thought is really interesting because I don't really know anything about. He talked about different stars and how far away how far away they were from our planet, and maybe how many planets exist in the universe.
Exist.
Exist.
In our
Exist in the universe.
In the universe,
He helped me a lot to see the world in whole new light. And also he talked about their cultures, his culture, and it can be said that I'm now more aware of the custom and tradition of other cultures, and I can distinguish the difference between them. So it would be that that's an interesting conversation.
Interesting conversation. Okay, good enough, I guess. All right. Miss Tường, please describe an interesting conversation you had with someone, please.
I talk about an interesting conversation I had a couple of weeks ago, in a music shop. So I was walking along one of the main shopping streets in city center, and I went to watch I saw a music shop. Actually, I didn't intend to buy anything, but out of my curiosity, so I decided to go in and have a look around. So the person I ended up speaking was he was a shop assistant on the second floor. I hadn't intended to speak to anyone, but the assistant approached me in a really friendly way and asked me whether I had any questions about the items or the guitars, instruments in the shop. I explained to the assistant that I wanted to study how to play the guitar. That was my first time. I've been in a music shop, so I didn't know
Music shop.
music shop. So I didn't know what to buy for beginners. And he talked to me about the different kinds of guitars for the beginners, which ones can be more easy for beginners to play, about the materials like woods, and of course the price range. Yeah, I know it's a really normal and basic conversations between customers and the salesperson, but the things that I found the conversation fascinating because the shop assistant was so smart and he was quite knowledgeable. You know, it was obvious that he had a passion for the guitar and the music instruments, and
Music
he didn't mind
instrument.
instruments, and he didn't mind talking to me even though I had made it clear that I didn't intend to buy anything. Yeah, so that's why I found conversations between me and the music
Very
shop
well.
assistant.
Very good, very good. Một cuộc đàm thoại thú vị đấy. Actually, it's quite good one. Good example. Good. All right, Mr. Trung, please. Can you describe an interesting conversation you had with someone, please?
Alright, so I would like to talk about one interesting conversation I had with someone. It was the person whom I spoke with was the old lady living next to my home in my hometown. Okay, so it was 1 week ago. I went home for some paperwork. Okay, so I used to take her advice for granted, but after this conversation, I think she gave me some really good advice, although we are from
Although we are from different generation, yeah.
different generation, but the situation can be different. But her advice could apply to me at present, right now. Okay, so I think that, it is both weird and interesting at the same time. I don't know why. How could
How
the
she could
advice? I mean,
how she could advise me?
Uh, yeah, how she could advise me, uh, even though she uh, did not experience anything. Uh, experience the thing I have went through, but she gave me a
You know,
generic
some people they
advice.
just feel it. Some people they just
Uh,
feel it and they feel very well.
yeah. Okay.
Chắc xin cung cử giải.
Uh,
Probably she's a
uh,
Cancerian. Yeah, probably.
uh,
Just like your
yeah.
teacher.
Okay. Yeah. The advice can be generic, but it is true
Generic.
at the same
Generic.
time.
The advice can be generic.
Yeah,
Generic. Generic.
yeah. But it's true at the same time, you know. It apply generic, and I can use that advice to help me solve some issue
To help me
in
solve what?
to help me solve some issue in my life. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Right, I see. Good. Okay, let's go to part 3 of interesting conversation now. So, Miss Tường, please. So, what is the most interesting conversation you've ever had? Please don't repeat the last one.
Well, I think that the most interesting conversation I've ever had was about like a few days ago when I was in a bookstore and a 5-year-old boy or 6-year-old, I don't remember, came and asked me if I could share my sets with him, and I agreed. So after a while, and he started like asking me some questions about myself, and then he began tell tell me about everything that related to space, about planets, suns, um, like the Mars, the Earth, or everything that's related to space. And
To what? To what?
it's kind of to space.
To
About the
what? Can you pronounce that word again? To
like planets, everything that was related to the planets. Um,
the
or
planets, you mean? To space. To space, right? And planets. Có nhiều lúc em nói cái phát âm không rõ nha, mặc dù nó nghe rất là giống giọng Mỹ nhưng mà nó không rõ ràng. A lot of the time, your accent is actually very American, yes, but you speak too fast, and sometimes the pronunciation is not very clear for people to understand. Careful with that. That could lower your score. Be careful. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So, Miss Lin, please. So, in your opinions, what makes another person interesting to talk to? Miss Lin, please, your microphone. All of you. Microphone's on. Bật mic mọi người ơi. Tắt hết rồi trời. Miss Lin, please, in your opinion, what makes another person interesting to talk to?
I think the first is you are talking about like two people have the same enjoy and same
The same what?
okay.
Two people having the same what?
The same hobby and make sure that just focus on the topic. By doing this, you can quite sure that the person.
Sometimes people have the same hobby and interest, yeah? Then it would be
my
nice.
brother crying.
Oh, meow. Just like my cats meowing all the time whenever they want my help. It's okay, we don't hear anything because my computer has crispy, which eliminate all the noises. Listen, if I turn it off, see? If I turn it on again, see? The artificial intelligence, the AI, actually is working very fine now in order to make the calls much less noisy. See? Cái chương trình thực sự rất là hay luôn á, nó chống tiếng ồn rất là hay luôn á, crispy nè. I would advise people to buy it to make everything more professional, to make learning more professional, to make teaching more professional. Alright, so Miss Lin, can you continue now? It's okay, we won't hear anything wrong from your baby crying. I mean your brother's baby crying.
Okay. First, make sure that you are talking about the same topic and focus on the common
Focus on a focus on.
Focus on interest between you, and by doing this we have the same enjoy those, so we can keep continuing the conversation. And second is checking the body language to make sure that you are giving up a positive image to the other person.
I see.
So if you are smiling or you have a humor,
you have a sense of humor,
a sense of humor, or articulate, yes. So you can create an impression for another person.
I see. Alright, so Mr. Trung, what do you think? In your opinion, what makes another person interesting to talk to?
Yeah. So the things that make a person interesting to talk to can be, first one is the look. Second one,
always about the look, right? No, it's not. Trust me, a lot of good-looking people, they don't even know how to talk, and they are very boring.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, it's interesting to utilize their boredomness and take the control. of the conversation, Okay, so in
Oh,
case
that's
in case
cute.
in case they have a look but they are boring. Okay, so but the second one
A
is their
lot of the
personality.
case they are boring. They are
uh,
super boring, but they have the look. Yeah.
okay. And the second thing is the characteristic.
The
uh,
characteristic. Những âm 2
yeah
và 4.
uh,
Characteristic. They are characteristic. They're characteristic. Characteristic.
characteristic. Okay, so I'm not saying a person who is humorous or who is talkative can be more interesting to talk, but I would say that a person who can match your frequency, match your style,
Exactly. To match your
match
frequency. Very good.
uh, uh, match your hobbies, favorite things. Okay, so that person
Cùng tần số đó. To match your
uh,
frequency. Yeah, true.
is an interesting person to talk to. And last but not least, okay, I highly appreciate people with experience, right? Because with experience, they can tell us stories uh, that we would love to experience, and we would love to go through that story with them, and we can learn a lot from their old stories. So I think these are the three things that make one person interesting to talk with.
To talk to. To talk with. Yeah, true. Alright. So, Miss Lin, please. Is it difficult? Oh, wait. I haven't asked Miss Tường yet. So, is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know? Why?
Mm, well, I think that it really depends on our personality. So if someone is an
Personality.
introvert, so it's maybe a really big deal for them to like to begin the conversation with a stranger. But if someone is an extrovert, then it's quite like a piece of cake for them to start a conversation with just anyone. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that like starting a conversation with someone we don't know is a basic skill that we need to
You mean
have.
it's not a good thing? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, it's like just a soft skill that we need to have in our life because because sometimes we need to gain our confidence to start a conversation with someone, like when you need their help or you want to ask them for something. So I think it's just like a soft skills that we need to study, although it's quite difficult for some of the people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Mr. Trung, what do you think? Is it difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know? Why?
Yeah. Okay. So, in my opinion, it can be difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know. But if you have the skill and a
If
technique,
you train yourself with the techniques and the skill, yeah.
and you can start a conversation with them easily. Okay. So the reason why it is difficult to start with a conversation with someone you don't know is
You
that
don't have to speak so fast like that, you know?
um, okay, the reason why it is difficult to start a conversation with someone you don't know can be that you don't know about anything about them. You don't know their background, education, where they're from, are they safe or not. So you can be afraid of them to open your mind, okay, to start anything from them. But if we know some technique and some
Some what?
skill, some techniques,
Techniques, những âm hai nha.
uh,
Technique.
some
Some
techniques.
techniques.
Mhm. And just step by step, we can start a conversation with someone. And I think it is good uh, to to have conversation with everyone. Okay, you can learn from them because everyone has a different story, and from that, maybe you can know some valuable information, or you can learn some lesson from them, and you can help to improve yourself. I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good, good. All right, let's move on to another one. I'm moving backward now. Oh no. Let's do something more difficult. Yes. There you go, 31. Describe an art exhibition. Exhibition. An art exhibition. Exhibition.
Exhibition.
Exhibition.
Exhibition.
An art exhibition. Exhibition or exhibition. Describe an art exhibition that you visited. Miêu tả một cái triển lãm nghệ thuật mà các bạn đã viếng thăm. You should say when you saw this exhibition. Bạn thấy cái biểu triển lãm này khi nào? Where the exhibition was held. Buổi triển lãm này được tổ chức như ở nơi nào? What was on display? Cái gì đã được trưng bày? Explain your impression of the exhibition. Hãy giải thích cái ấn tượng của các bạn về cái triển lãm đó. And you have part 3 of art. Well, part 3 of art. What can art bring to life? Nghệ thuật đem đến cuộc sống điều gì? This will be difficult for you. But I'm sure this class you know how to answer them. Because you guys are actually quite experienced and you read a lot, I'm sure. Nếu các bạn không read thì làm sao có thể đạt được cái band điểm như thế này được? If you don't read a lot, how you can write well? And you cannot have a lot of ideas to talk about in speaking. So I believe that this class you will score well. Okay? Anyway, what can art bring to life? Think about, for example, it makes life more beautiful. Yeah, we all know that. How about it helps people develop the appreciation of beauty. Cái sự mà trân trọng hạnh phúc. Cái sự trân trọng cái đẹp chứ, sorry. The appreciation of beauty. And of course, people believe that art can help children to develop a good character. Help children to develop a good character by doing art, you know. Để có tâm hồn đẹp á, to have a beautiful soul. To have a beautiful soul. And what else? It makes life worth living, làm cho cuộc đời đáng để sống. Okay, should the school system include and improve the teaching of art and why? Hệ thống trường học có nên thêm vào và cải thiện cái sự dạy nghệ thuật hay không? Tại sao? Like for example, you know how it is when they teach art in high schools, right? When they teach art in elementary schools. How about art in college? Should the school system include art and improve the teaching of art? Why? Think about how it was taught in Vietnam. And in Vietnam, the society doesn't actually appreciate art very much. Of course, they do tend to send their children to art classes, but they don't exactly appreciate that. So after a while, the children just quit, you know, and they quit as well. There's nothing long term in this country about art, to be honest with you. Thật sự nước Việt Nam mình mặc dù đưa con trẻ đến học các lớp học art, nhưng mà chính phụ huynh và trẻ em không biết được tại sao mình phải làm vậy. Không trân trọng nghệ thuật thực sự. và bỏ cuộc rất là dễ dàng luôn á. They give up very easily actually. So I think 95% of children in this country actually were forced to learn and they hate it and then they don't like art and something like that, you know. So it's also a problem of people forcing students to learn things they don't want, you know, and this include art. I myself, when I was 6 years old, my father forced me to learn the piano, how to play the piano, but after half a year, I screamed and then I make him let me quit. But then when I was 14 years old, I taught myself again, and until now it's been 18, 19 years and I can play the piano quite well, right? So maybe there's something wrong with the teaching of art that you can think about how to improve it. Okay, next question. Do people have different concepts of art? Con người ta có những khái niệm nghệ thuật khác nhau không? Concept, không có concept gì nha. Concepts. Do people have different concepts of art and why? Con người ta có những khái niệm nghệ thuật khác nhau hay không? Tại sao? Like, what is art in one person's eye might be different in another person's, you know. Cái gì là nghệ thuật nó có thể nó khác biệt trong cái con mắt nhìn nhận của một người so với những người khác chẳng hạn. Okay, can you give example? I think. Why are some artworks expensive? Tại sao một số tác phẩm nghệ thuật lại mắc tiền như vậy? Artworks. Okay, think about the fact that some were painted by very well-known composers or well-known artists, you know. So, of course, their reputation adds up the price of their artwork. Cái danh tiếng của họ nó sẽ thêm vào cái giá của những tác phẩm của họ, đương nhiên rồi. Their reputation adds up the price of their artwork. Like for example, if I am famous, I can charge much more for my lessons, you know. Nếu mà tôi nổi tiếng hơn, tôi có thể có quyền là tôi trả tiền nhiều hơn cho những cái buổi học của tôi chẳng hạn. So the same thing can happen to artwork. And think about the fact that some artwork, it takes many years for the artist to be able to paint that good, you know. So you pay for that many years of training. Bạn trả tiền cho hàng mấy chục năm hoặc là mười mấy năm của họ luyện tập để trở nên giỏi như vậy. Cho nên là một số tác phẩm nó mới mắc tiền như vậy. Why do some people like to collect famous paintings? Tại sao một số người họ thích là sưu tầm những cái tranh vẽ nổi tiếng? Think about resale value, you know. Những cái giá trị khi mình bán lại. Like, you know, artwork, famous paintings, they tend to increase in price after a while, you know. Their value improves. Their value just keep increasing if the painters, if the artist, it's well known, and if the painting it's quite old already. You know, it's sold as antiques, you know, bán như đồ cổ đó. Alright, you have some time. Alright, so Miss Lin, you first please describe an art exhibition that you visited. Exhibition. Your microphone's on, please, class, all of you, please. Bật mic các bạn. Okay, Lin, please, you first. Past tense, okay? Careful.
It can be said that I'm a dictator of art.
You mean you are the one who are addicted to art, right?
Yeah.
I'm the one who is addicted to art. Không ai nói là addictor hay là addict, you know, nó kỳ lắm. Nobody say I'm an addict to art or I'm an addictor to art. There's nothing like that. I'm the one who is addicted to art. Or you should not really say that. I'm the one who is really into art, okay? Say that. I'm the one who's really into art, Miss Lin.
I'm the one who is really into art, especially abstract and contemporary art. When I have a chance to visit to Hanoi, I'm always find the opportunity to visit an art gallery, and it's namely 22 Hamburg Arts, 22 Hamburg
Mm-hmm.
Culture and Arts Center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now I will tell you about the exhibition I went to in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
I still vividly remember that's the day I went to the exhibition. It was a hot and sunny day in maybe September.
Mm-hmm.
I I went to this with my friend who live in Hanoi, and she asked me to go to with her to the experience. And honestly, I never heard
Honest
about
hay là honestly?
honestly,
Honestly.
honestly,
Yes.
honestly, I have never heard about this exhibition and this artist, but I decided to go to with my friend because my curiosity.
My curiosity got the best of me. My
Yeah,
curiosity. Yeah, because of
my
my
curiosity.
curiosity. Okay, good. Alright, so Mr. Trung, please. Describe an art exhibition that you visited.
Okay, it was a long time that I was invited to an art exhibition. Hmm. Okay, so this exhibition is
Was
ah
was this exhibition was
this exhibition was right at the house of the artist. Okay,
right at the artist's
house.
dwellings or house of the artist. I see. The
Okay, so
residence at the
yeah,
residence of the artist. I see.
and because the artist was mm, a fashion designer, so uh, the the space was filled with I would say it's weird and
Of course,
uh,
artists are supposed to be weird. Look at my house.
and indescribable
Uh-huh.
clothes. Yeah,
And look at my house. It's supposed to be that way.
right. Okay, and my impression for the exhibition is that I was stunned and a little shocked.
Uh-huh.
Uh, yeah. I didn't know what to say. I wouldn't say it was a bad thing or it was a good thing. I would say that I had no I had no idea about what was going on. Okay. Okay, so that's my feeling about this art exhibition. I was invited to. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Now, Miss Tường, please. Describe, please, an art exhibition that you visited.
So honestly, I'm not a really big fan of art because I just cannot understand the story behind those paintings. I've rarely visited any art exhibition, but once I visited an
I
exhibition
visited. I visited.
visited an art exhibition because it was my friend's invitation. So I heard some, they gave me very promising reviews, like such as an eye-opening experience once in my life. So I decided to tag along to see. what the art exhibition was about. So the reason why I found this art exhibition was so pleased was definitely thanks to the art pieces which were on display. You know, the art subjects in this exhibition were all contemporary art, and I think they belong to many different generations, including and different kinds like paintings, sculptures, potteries, and some 3D art forms. And the topics covered by many artists being featured in this exhibition was also really, kind of outstanding. So yeah, I was like really interested in, I was immersed myself into the displays. So I walked through each section of the exhibition, and because it seemed like every section was really different from each other. So yeah, actually, well, although I'm not really understand or have some knowledge about art, I also really enjoyed that art exhibition thanks to my friend's invitation.
Invitation, yeah, invitation. Okay, good. Now let's go to part 3 of arts then. So, Mr. What can art bring to life, Mr.?
So I think that first thing that art can bring to our life is that is beauty and story behind the different kinds of paintings that the artists want to message, want to give a message through the paintings. And the second thing is that art can enhance the flavor of our, just to add more colors to make our life more colorful due to some different kinds and fusions of art forms, and also that arts can improve our creativity and our, uh, you know, like productive skills, so that we just can be more creative thanks to our art forms.
I see. So, Mr. Trung, should the school system include and improve the teaching of art? Why? What do you think?
I do think the school system should include and improve the teaching of art because some people or some students excels at different things. Some are good at math, some are good at singing. So uh, art should be one important subject at school
School
to
là sao? School là sao?
school
In
to
school, yes.
to discover, nurture, and improve the potential of students who are good at art. And after the school, they can with enough skills and knowledge, uh, it could help them go further in their career when it comes to singing, performing, painting, or anything related to arts.
Okay, so Miss Lin, please. Do people have different concepts of art and why? What do you think? Microphones on, please. Do people have different concepts of art, Miss Lin? Bật mic các bạn ơi. Microphones on, please. Okay, now Miss Lin, please.
Okay.
Không nghe Linh ơi, I can't hear you.
Oh.
Okay, now I can hear.
Yeah,
All right.
yes, definitely, because everyone have their own concepts of art. Because I think the culture is the first reason that
That influences.
influences artwork, everything surrounding us, such as the country, the traditional
The,
culture,
tr- the tr-
and
tradition, the tradition, the culture.
tradition, tradition, environment, or time influencing our life or decision. So I think each nation and each person have different like
Concepts of art.
different perspective and the view their own viewpoint. So I think artwork is like change and depend according to their viewpoint and perspective.
Okay, good enough. Good, good. So, Mr. Trung, please. So, why are some artworks expensive? What do you think?
Some artworks can be expensive. Mm, the reason behind this is uh, uh, the
Yes, I'm listening.
reputation. Okay, this can be the reputation of the artist. It adds up to the price of the artworks for their hearts, for the time and the effort uh, the artist has put onto the artworks, and it provokes the feeling of the people who enjoy this piece of art. Yeah. Okay. Uh, and
Anything
okay.
else?
Okay, and another reason is that because some artist has passed away.
Oh, of
Okay.
course. Some artists
Okay.
just pass away, of course.
Okay. So and the death of the artist contributes
Of
contributes.
course, they contribute to the price of their artwork as well.
Okay, because the artist is no longer available to create more of the similar artworks, so the supply for the artworks becomes limited. Huh. And when it comes to the
Limited hay là limited?
limited, uh, okay, so when it comes to the market, uh, with the limited supply, there will be an increase in the price. Okay, okay, so
Okay, anything else?
that can be two good reason.
Yeah, there could be two good reasons, I think. I think the third
Uh,
good reason is, of course, artwork in some country, it depends on like the demand of that artwork as well. And if people appreciate art in that country a lot, then the price of those artwork will be very expensive. Nó tùy thuộc vào mức độ mà con người ta trân trọng nghệ thuật đó nha. Depends on the level of appreciation that people have to art as well. So, Tường, please. So, why do some people like to collect famous paintings? What do you think? This will be the last question.
I think that is for the main two reasons. The first one is maybe that the person wants to collect famous paintings. They want to like show off both. They want to show off that they're rich, or maybe they want to show off that they have like a deep understanding in art or paintings. But maybe that some people are passionate about art or an artist. So they got to know that artist or learned about his or her life. And
Okay.
if they have enough money, they could afford to buy some of that person's artworks. And of course, if we are talking about famous paintings, they would cost lots of monies, right? So besides of following the passion, but they also make a smart investment that will pay off in the future.
Okay. Right, I think it's a good answer. Okay, let's end it here. Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh để đăng ký kênh á, để mà các bạn sẽ được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình, nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.